Alright, let me see if this is at least somewhat working. Somewhat working. The audio seems fine. Okay. That'll have to do. For right now, at least. Yeah. Okay, that works. I just got back from work and I'm in the mood to stream for once. So I figured I'd just do that. Figured I'd try something random, but then I'm like, I'm in the middle of Tears of the Kingdom, so why not just that? Plus I'm bored. Bored. I've been messing around on Hades 1 and 2, sort of to compare them. And boy, do I just love how memorable Hades 1 is. Like, that game's really fucking good. Hades 2 is really good too, and I want to say it's almost better, but it's still a work in progress, so I can't make that decision right now. But man, Hades 1 really knocks it out of the park, so to speak. Like in particular, I love the way the music works in the game, because like their musical cues for damn near everything. It's really good. I mean, it's kind of the same in Hades 2 as well. What am I doing? I need to go back down there. Shit. I did not think this through. Yeah, there we go. Now, one thing I like was going through Asphodel. There's an area called the Barge of Death, and it specifically has its own theme. And like the moment like Zagreus gets on, he's like, "It's the Barge of Death," and then the theme just kicks on. It's so good. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like the way the music goes is it's like it's declaring itself, so to speak. You know, like Zagreus goes, "It's the Barge of Death," and the music's like, "Yep, it's the Barge of Death. It's that time, guys." It's basically just a little arena that you fight a slightly more challenging hordes of exploding guys in. But it just has a presence that the other rooms don't. But Hades 2 has good musical cues too, but I think my favorites are like Tartarus and the Kronos fight. Because the Kronos fight the opening theme makes use of like clocks ticking, but that's also like throughout all of Tartarus you'll have that clock ticking thing. But somehow when you finally get to Kronos, it's way more pronounced. Like it's, I guess it's like it's building up across the entire level, and then getting to Kronos, it's like this is the clock ticking theme. This is like what it was all building up to. And the clock ticking part is specifically during like the big evil speech Kronos has before the actual main theme kicks in. I wish I could articulate my thoughts on this because I'm like I can identify a vibe or a feeling for music, but I can't describe it without sounding like an idiot. But yeah, whoever does the music for Hades 1 and 2, they're fucking geniuses. That's what I'm trying to get at. They're really good at like communicating through music, and to me that's kind of beautiful in a way, because music is like, most people don't realize, but music sort of has its own form of communication. Like, oh, best to put it. Music is like speech without words. Kinda. Like, it's always saying something. Truly good music says something really important that has no words, I guess. Again, I'm trying to describe a vibe that I get from all sorts of music, and it's like, yeah, I have no good way to describe this, actually. Maybe I could put it in music. That might work. That would perfectly describe it, actually. If it isn't obvious, I really love video game music. And music in general, I just love that. But I have no idea how to compose, so I'm just trapped forever composing. My old man, he liked music too. He liked it a lot. He used to be in like his own little indie band and shit. He used to perform for like bars and stuff. He loved that. He's still like, he's dead now, but he loved it even after he sort of retired from that life to raise me. Like, he'd listen to heavy metal and shit. It was non-stop Judas Priest at the house and all that stuff. I gravitated more towards video game music, and still stuck with stuff like metal and whatnot. Which is why I love like Doom Eternal, because it's entirely exactly what I want from a video game soundtrack. That's part of why I like Hades as well, because Hades really uses rock and metal in its stuff. That's what it feels like. Not really 100% sure, honestly. I know that Hades' final boss theme is just some of the best shit I've ever heard. Okay, what is this? What am I looking at? I'm gonna step in it. Oh, didn't kill me. Okay, so I have here a weird thingamabob. A thingamawort. Well, it appears to do thingamawhat's things. But what does it do? What does the thingamabob do? Okay. Here's something. Oh, that's what it is. That's the thingamabob. The thingamawhat's it. Oh, I get it. Ah. Oh, that's cool. I can't do anything with this right now. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to get back up there now. I did not think this through. Gee. Where? Ah, here we go. This is perfect, actually. Let's turn it towards where I want to jump off. Yes, yes. Okay, now. Oh, right. I'm done. Gee, I built this without a fire source. What are the odds? Okay, I know I've gotten one of these flamethrower thingies somewhere in here. Not that, not that. Where are you? Fire-majig. Fire-ma-thingamabob. Here it is. It's the fire-ma-thingamabob. It's the fire-ma-bob. That's it. I'm so smart. Okay, I'm just gonna put this over here without killing myself. With the judge. And up I go. This time shall be different. Okay, and down, down, down. Alright. So, I figured out the thingamabob. The thingamawhat's it, if you will. Looks like the wind's kind of messing with that. What I'm after is that chest right down there, hanging from there. Get it? I need to turn this. Like so. And that will hopefully get me the chest I'm after. Yeah, yeah. So it's. I think I got it. I just need to get up there. Okay, why don't I have this favorited? Oh, that's why. Favorites are full. Ah, silly me. Woods and onwards. You know, it's kind of surreal that like we have a Legend of Zelda game this fucking huge. You know, back when I was a kid and I was playing like what was it? I can't remember. I should remember. Twilight Princess. That's it. You know, when I was going through Hyrule Field, I was like, wow, this game is big. But man, I wish I could go in that distant area that's like clearly separated by a ravine that I can't ever like that I can't ever touch. I can't cross that ravine at all. Okay, looks like I already found the treasure on the map. Back when I played Twilight Princess, I was like, wow, this Zelda game is great. It's big. I sure wish it was a teensy bit bigger, though. I sure wish I could go to this distant area. But oh well, that's the limitations of the GameCube. Um, and again, Twilight Princess, it was not a small game. It was kind of gigantic, for being perfectly honest. It was really good, too, like overall. But I always dreamed of a Zelda game where, like, I could see something in the distance, and then I could just go to it. Explore. And there'd be shit to do. That's why I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because they're both that exact Zelda game that I always, like, had in my head. You know, they're the exact game I always wanted to play. And I'm really fucking happy about that. You know, I don't play this that often, because I tend to get burned out on it. But I'm grateful that these two games exist at all. I think they're the coolest thing ever. I hope that someday they either refine this so that you can add like real dungeons to them, or they just go back to the old Zeldas and just make them somewhat bigger. Because the thing is, the Breath of the Wild and just the general like I guess open world Zelda games, they're great, but it's clear there are limitations to this forethought. Very big limitations. And a lot of people who like the really old school games kind of don't like the fact that these exist because they're setting that precedent of, oh, they're going to replace the old formula entirely. So it'd be nice if they got a game, if we got like a Zelda game for those people. And this was like just a one-time deal that maybe got improved upon later or something. Like, if they kept making them this big, that'd be cool. But I don't know if that's sustainable, you know? And there are a lot of flaws with this format, like storytelling isn't exactly great because of the nature of the game. Like Tears of the Kingdom's story, most of it is in a bunch of flashbacks that you have to find on the map, which in theory is cool, but then you actually go through and it's like, yeah, this has no pacing. You can actually find some of the flashbacks completely out of order and spoil what's about to happen next, which kind of ruins the story a bit. And what story is there isn't very well told or presented. Like, once I got the general gist that Tears of the Kingdom story was Zelda went back in time, fought Ganondorf, lost, and turned herself into an immortal dragon so she could then go forward in time and help Link with the super duper sword of light. It was like, yeah, okay, that's cool and all. That's not really a story. It's just a series of events that happened. It's very tragic that Zelda turned into an immortal dragon. That immediately gets undone in the ending. So you gotta ask yourself, was this story really worth telling? It was kind of a nothing burger. For starters, like, Ganondorf isn't even remotely complex in this game. Like, he's just not. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm silly for wanting like a more complicated Ganondorf, but you know, if you're gonna have a good story, it has to have at least a good villain. And Ganondorf is roughly the same as he was in like Ocarina of Time. He's the evil bad guy who does evil things, mostly in the background. Like, his character arc is exactly the same as Calamity Ganon's character arc, which is, he gets defeated or sealed away, and just fucks off under Hyrule Castle until you arrive and kill him, and that's it. Except in Calamity Ganon's case, there was an element of symbolism to him. Whereas in Ganondorf's case, there's no symbolism, he's just an asshole. The symbolism with Calamity Ganon was like, he is the whole cycle of the hero fighting Ganondorf over and over has long since devolved into something completely primordial. It's become like this literal calamity that happens because nobody's behind it anymore. I do like the idea that Tears of the Kingdom sort of sells how powerful Ganondorf is, because Calamity Ganon was just a phantom Ganon. I like the idea of Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild more, because it felt fitting to the setting, This was just something that has long since gone completely out of control, and nobody can really stop it for very long. It'll always come back. Here it's like, nah, he's dead now. He turned into a dragon and killed him. Exploded. Right? He turned into a fucking satellite laser. He dead. Totally. I guess what I'm getting at is, when you have Ganon, the monster, not the person, but the demon king thing that's just an elemental force, this sort of format works. The open world, go kill the big scary monster because it's threatening the world for no apparent reason other than it exists. It's a didactic force of nature. When you have Ganondorf, the person, you have to write him as a person. You can't write him as a force of nature or a force of evil. Evil, because evil just does not work. Like, if you're gonna have evil because evil, there has to be, like, a foundation or a reason that's the way that it is. When the evil because evil thing is a person. Otherwise, it just comes across as stupid. Why did Ganondorf want to take over Hyrule? Because he believes that it is his duty as the king of evil to take over Hyrule. Okay. Why, though? Because evil... That's not a good character arc. It's just not. I do like how spiteful he is in this game, though. That's one thing I really will go to bat for, is, like, Ganondorf in this game is, like, cartoonishly evil and vindictive to, like, an extreme I haven't seen before. But it really does boil down to Ganondorf's just a bastard, pretty much. This is why I vastly prefer Wind Waker Ganondorf to any other incarnation. Because at the very least, that version of Ganondorf, he thought about what he was doing in the context of, like, what happened to him. Like, Wind Waker Ganondorf was the Ganondorf who won. He won. He beat the hero, he conquered Hyrule, he didn't even beat the hero didn't even show up. But he won. He knew he won. And, like, in response to him winning, the goddesses basically flooded the fucking world. They were like, no, we're not letting this happen. We're gonna bury everyone in an ocean. Okay, this looks like it's gonna be tricky. Oh, I see the solution. How could I miss it? Honestly. And the thing about Wind Waker Ganondorf is, after he was effectively stopped by the goddesses, he got really fucking depressed because he won. You know, he had everything. He was completely victorious, just flat out. And he felt like he got cheated. Like he'd done everything right. He hit all the bullet points. He had finally gotten Hyrule. He was ruling it everything. The man got everything he wanted and then had it just stolen from him by a force beyond his control, beyond his power. Simply because he was the Demon King. And this caused him to question a lot of things, like what am I even doing anymore? How am I supposed to do anything if literal gods stop me? You know? So by the time like Wind Waker Link finds him, he's very, very introspective about the whole situation. Oh. Okay, I could probably find that one. Like he has a whole introduction where he's just like standing there over like a sleeping Zelda, looking through her memories, and he's angry. You know, not about the hero showing up or about Zelda, but about the fact that like this world has basically been destroyed. And when like Link finally confronts him at the top of his evil tower, because you know every good Ganondorf has to have a Ganon tower. Like he explains his motivations, which is you know he wanted to give his people a place to live, and he sort of just got lost in his own ambition partway through. Well, he's not a good person. He does come across as more reasonable than the other incarnations of Ganondorf because he thinks about what his situation was. He thinks about it at all, which puts him leagues above the others. And then there's also the fact that, like, thematically, he's basically the opposite to King Daphne's No Hands in Hyrule, in that he's like the old man who can't let go of the past. Like, the thing is, the main character of Wind Waker isn't technically an incarnation of a hero. He's just a guy wearing the suit. Like, he's literally just some dude. But, like, Ganondorf can't acknowledge that. He's like, no, this kid has to be the next incarnation of the hero, and he's just not. Like, 2 seconds into the fight, and, like, the hero just gets fucking trashed in a cutscene, and then gets his Triforce stolen. Like, he's absolutely not hero material most of the game. He's strong, but he's not, like, officially part of the whole cycle of the hero defeating Ganondorf over and over. He just coincidentally happens to exist in this world. So there's an element of essentially Ganondorf reaching to sort of make things make sense. Because he's an angry old man who can't move on. Like, even though he's, like, introspective, he's not doing anything with that. He's just, like, he's depressed. He wants to live the glory days. He wants to conquer Hyrule. He's stuck, basically. And that's great. That's really good writing, because, again, like, he has a foil in King Daphnes, who's, like, throughout most of Wind Waker, he also has this sort of character arc of wanting to bring back the old in place of the new, but due to all the time he spends with Link, he figures out that, hey, maybe I should just let go and move on. Anyway, I'm yakking all about this while I'm also running around in circles on this tiny island, mostly because I wanted to express my thoughts on why I'm kind of disappointed with the writing of the current Zelda games, because at the very least, in Tears of the Kingdom's case, their Ganondorf kind of misses the mark because he's not a great character. He's a fun character. He's just not well written. I can't stress enough just how cool it is that he has, like, entire moments that feel like they're making fun of game mechanics. Like, in the opening act, he's not only aware of who Link and Zelda is, he's Like, he attacks Link and immediately, in a cutscene, depletes all of Link's heart gauge. Just completely destroys it. Which is really cool. You know, I like that. And then, like, with the final battle with him, you know, you find him to a standstill and get him to, like, phase 2, and he's over the moon. He's happy. He's like, yeah, this is a great fight. I can't believe I finally found a worthy opponent. Here, let me transform. And then his health bar gets an erection. Like, his health bar just becomes massively off-center because it doubles, but it doubles in a really silly way. It just fits Ganondorf's level of pettiness. It's like, yes, it's not symmetrical at all. What are you going to do about it? I'm the great king of evil. Symmetry is for good guys. It's just so goofy. Like, the way they present that, it's both really silly and also really terrifying because that's a real health bar you have to deplete eventually. Okay. I'm not finding any way to get around from here. Unless... Ooh, hello. I can just go over there, can't I? Did I already go over there? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, I've been all over this area by now. I'm just fiddling around at this point. Anyway, that's enough of me just nattering on about my minor complaints with Ganondorf. I do enjoy the fact that he's here. I just wish there was a layer of consistency to the writing surrounding both him and a lot of other stuff. There we go. Okay. This is easily the most broken thing you can make in Tears of the Kingdom. Just this. Like, if you get, like, 2 fans and a wheel, you can just make the ultimate traversal item, and it costs maybe, I think it was, what 9 of those things earlier? It's so good. You can get a long way with this, too. It's actually kind of crazy. Let's see, map. Okay, that is the Temple of Time area. I don't need to go there. What's over here? Just ahead. Just above or below? I'm not seeing them. Hold on. Oh, it's over here. Down there? Or up there? Okay, it's saying there's an island up ahead, but I'm not seeing no island. Oh, is it below me? Okay, hold on. Okay. I hate wasting those like that. There we go. Whee! Oh. Oh, I was already here? Or... Okay, it's just weird looking. It's got teeth. Ooh, neat. Alright, that takes care of that. Seriously, why do the chests have teeth? That's fucked up. I guess another thing with the writing of Tears of the Kingdom I'm not really a fan of. Is, Okay, in Breath of the Wild, they basically put a lot of stuff in the overworld that felt like evidence of some degree of continuity, like everything had, I guess, been fused together. And at the time, people were like theory crafting like crazy. They were like, okay, well maybe this game is in like a bunch of fused timelines or something, or maybe everything came together somehow. Because there were like things that contradicted like the continuities from the official continuity that came out ages ago. And Tears of the Kingdom just straight up goes, nah, none of that mattered. This is like its own continuity, kinda, maybe. Um, because the whole thing with Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom is it retells the story of the Imprisoning War, and it even has elements from Ocarina of Time, because that's when the Imprisoning War happened, supposedly. Or originally, that was the point of Ocarina. It was literally telling the story of the Imprisoning War. So like you had Twinrova, you had Ganondorf being evil and stuff, and it was all really cool. Tears of the Kingdom just tells its own version of the Imprisoning War, which is implied to just be the same event, but with like drastically different characters and setting. So all that stuff that they included from Breath of the Wild sort of just ceased to matter. You can still find it in the overworld. Like if you look around, you can actually still find stuff that connects all the other games. But now it's like it never mattered. Tears of the Kingdom is probably its own setting. If there's a reason for that stuff to be there, it's not because of any continuity, it's just there as a reference. That makes me angry because that means people can't really write a good setting with good continuity to save their lives, especially when writing a video game. I'm just like, man, that sucks. I was enjoying the fact that this was supposed to be like the place where every other Hyrule existed to some degree, and now it's just not. You know, all those Easter eggs were exactly that. Easter eggs that serve no narrative purpose. It seems like a dumbass thing to be mad about, and yeah, it is. Man, it would have been neat if like we got all that connected tissue that mattered, you know. I feel like I should be going up. I wonder how far up I can go before I need to drop down. Oops. Oh well. Probably shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Where to drop? Where to go? Running out of stamina, so I'll have to pick up the location soon. I'm just like, maybe I don't want to, though. Maybe the Zora's Domain. What do I care? Okay, Zora's Domain it is. Looks like a camp up ahead. Okay. I had one other grievance with the writing, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it probably wasn't important. I think it was like, the thing is, like, Tears of the Kingdom bothered to include Twinrova, right? And like, in the past flashbacks, you can clearly see them. And they're accompanying Ganondorf at his right and left side when he's like pledging fealty to King Rauru after his failed attempt at invading the nation. And people found out that on his on all of his weapons, the versions you can get from the Phantom Cannons, all of his weapons have like their names on them. So like he literally put his put Kome and Kotake's names on his weapons. And remember, in the setting of, at the very least, in the setting of Ocarina of Time, Kome and Kotake are his moms, basically.
Oh. Oh.
This is the weirdest looking NPC I have ever seen in my entire life. Good to know there's a cave nearby. But anyway, the fact that Kome and Kotake were included to that degree, though... hold on, let me refill this here. Son of a gun. Okay. Hold that thought. Now, but the fact that they were included to that degree kind of implied that they were, like, the Imprisoning War sort of takes place during its own version of Ocarina of Time. Except, you know, it's dramatically different from Ocarina of Time's setting. I wish they'd done more with that, specifically. Like, if this was going to be, like, an attempt at sort of repeating Ocarina of Time in the past, they should have done more with that than just, like, sort of place it in events similar to the original Disney War. But there again, the problem I have is, like, the writers for this game sort of abandoned the idea of any larger continuity and just made it self-contained to Breath of the Wild without any really good reason to do so, I guess. Probably always said this once. Again, I'm really complaining too much about the plot of this game, when really the game itself is so immaculate it doesn't really matter. Like, I'd love for there to be good writing in a Nintendo game, or any video game for that matter, but that's just not a thing you can expect normally. It's a very cruel tragedy of video games and just entertainment in general is you shouldn't expect good writing. That's a talent that apparently not a lot of people have, and it sucks to have to admit that, but that's the unfortunate reality of any sort of medium, is writing is apparently a skill that is very hard for people to learn. Or people just don't know how to find good writers or hire good writers. And the really good ones, their stuff, you know, their stuff gets super popular, but the writers tend to get fired. And I guess where video games are concerned, good writing can enhance it, you know? That's an accepted fact. Like, really good writing can enhance how you experience a video game. It can be the entire point of a video game, in fact. Like, there are some video games where I swear, like, the writing is just perfect and has no flaws and carries the entire game. and that's fine. But man, I'd love for there to be like consistently high quality with big releases like this. I think there's one game in particular where the writing stood out so much that I don't think I can ever go back. I'm trying to think which game that was, because like I remember specifically playing this game exclusively for its story, because the story was just that fucking good. Drawing a blank here. I don't play it recently. Not Chained Echoes though. Chained Echoes is good, but I don't think I played it just for its writing. There's one. Ah, that's it. Ast Libra. Ast Libra had a damn good plot. Like that game's story is the exact thing that kept me going throughout the entire experience, and it was just consistently good across the board. And like the game itself is literally an indie flash game that some dude made during his spare time over a decade, in like episodes. But the game's plot is just so over the top and so good that it just sells the entire game. And the gameplay is pretty addictive too. Like that's an example of writing absolutely carrying the fuck out of a game. Even though like the gameplay itself is also really stellar, the writing really carried it. Like if I go back and play Ast Libra, I'm not playing it for the writing. I'm playing that shit for the game. Sorry, I'm not playing it for the gameplay, playing it for the writing. Okay, hold that thought. Oh yeah, I guess I am. Hold on, I need to do something real quick. Ninja, vanish! Nope. Did that not work? Oh, okay, I put it away. Shit. No, wrong button. Which one was the throw button, damn it? Okay, this is getting I've completely forgotten how to throw this. Okay, it was hold and then not drop. Throw. I know I had this. Oh, okay. It's a literal throw menu. Of course there's a throw menu. There we go. Just my luck for getting the actual controls of this game because I haven't played it in so long. Dazzle Fruit's great. If you're up against any undead enemies, it just instantly kills them. Fucking love that. I love how, like, specific solutions exist in this game that just sort of... You kind of have to intuit. It's really good. Alright, okay. So the Resolve Reaper... I don't even know what I'm doing out here. What am I doing out here? I have no direction right now. Range room. Okay, the trees are starting to look fucked up, so it's probably clearly on the coastline. Probably near that one town that just recently got liberated. Anyway. You know, my frustration with like writing, at least when it comes to my writing, is I feel like I'm not very creative, but then I look at some of the stuff other people make and I'm like, wow, I could probably top that if I had balls. Okay, let's see. What type? By most used. Where are the my balls at? Are there no eyes? That's a little lame. Oh, there we go. Keys eyeballs. Track him! I can't aim for shit. What? I guess it's too far. Stupid keys eyeballs don't fly towards the target. Like right now I'm slowly building up a setting, mostly as an experiment to see if I can actually do it. And I'm literally doing this piece by piece, but I'm not writing anything, I'm just like coming up with it and then writing bits and pieces down. And then like trying to essentially establish the skeleton setting. I spent 3 years trying to do this, mostly because I like a spy. And don't want to like... Also I don't have a lot of time. I can hard on myself, but the reason is because I really feel like I could probably do better and just don't. And these days I've been really depressed, so that hasn't helped. I'll have moments where I just get struck by lightning and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make the shit out of this. Then later it's like, I can't draw, I suck, woe is me. Oh, what a cruel world. You know, usual stuff. Basic self-esteem. Trying to be a creator of anything kinda isn't easy. I'm sure I was leading up to a point of some sort. I think here. Alright, mostly when it comes to making stuff, I see what like other game companies and stuff have done with their stuff and these cool settings and ideas. And I keep thinking to myself, wow, most of these people just make really average to above average stuff most of the time. Some video games just don't have good writing at all. Like, I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but it needs to be said. There's this guy who, like, wrote, what was it again? Heavy Rain, I think it was? The Origami Killer? And this dude's, like, he has this prolific career of being the most hack writer who ever got away with bad writing. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but most of his stuff is just offensively bad to the point where I genuinely feel disgust watching some of his, like, content. I'm like, yeah, this guy's bad. This guy sucks, he can't write for shit. And then I think to myself, how dare I look down on my own writing quality when, like, this guy exists? You know? It's really sad because like, Heavy Rain has good presentation, but the writing is bad. Like, aggressively, overwhelmingly bad, to the point where I'm just like, yeah, how did people pay money for this? Okay. Come on, come apart. Oh, can it not? Okay. In that case, how about I try something really crazy like... Yeah, I could do this. Hold on, I'll just... No, not like that. I don't know if this is gonna work actually. I feel like my object permanence has failed. Yes, it has. Did I say I was good at stuff? I'm not good at stuff, clearly. I made this as a solution to a problem that clearly didn't need that as the solution. I take it back, I'm actually bad at everything. Okay. I'm gonna assume this very obviously improvised solution is the solution. No? Totally not gonna fuck this up. Right? Maybe I could do a little more. Clearly, if I were to this here, right? Right, doing that like that. Sort of over here, right? I'm just gonna build a whole fucking castle around this. I don't even care anymore. My self-esteem is dead. What even is self-esteem? Can't be worth anything if it's steam, right? That's just weak water. Got hit by heat once and just sort of died. I'm not even making sense anymore. Okay. Enough of that. Let's see if this fixes it. Try letting go. Ha 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 ha. Nope, that didn't solve shit. Okay, so MacGyvering the solution did not work. But maybe I can just go for the very simple and very obvious solution that I should have done before. Right? I'll just stick this here. Damn my terrible depth perception now. Right? Look at that. That's perfect. It isn't perfect. It's terrible. It's not even remotely close to solved yet. Now I need to... Actually, that might work on its own. Yeah, fuck it. Let's try it. Okay, seriously though, this guy is like actually really stupid. This dude is in the carpenter industry and he doesn't know how to carpenter at all. He doesn't even understand how basic laws of physics works. This is sad. Like, this dude literally must have lost a brain lobe at some point. Like, I know this is for the bit, but this bit has been so consistent across the entire game that I'm just like... I feel nothing but pity for this individual now. He was dropped in cement as a child and ate it all. Oh, nice. Bomb flower. Anyway. I'm spending a lot of time talking up my own creativity like I'm not a complete hack myself, and I clearly am. lately I haven't been feeling particularly keen on making stuff. You know, part of me really wants to. The other part of me is just always like, I can't do this. This is too complicated. It sounds dumb. Everything I make is stupid now. Why do I even exist if I can't do the one thing I enjoy doing, etc., etc. It's an endless loop of self-sustaining self-loathing that I try to ignore because I know down it probably doesn't matter how stupid my ideas are. Somebody's probably gonna like them. It might even be good. Being overly critical of oneself is a very, very deep-rooted and universal flaw with being any sort of creator. Like media, art, it doesn't matter. I think the problem I have with myself that I've always had a proclivity for drawing and for making stuff because I've always wanted to. But I grew up in Arkansas, and thing is, that culture kind of encourages you not to be creative, but instead to be practical. Don't think, do basic work. Artists starve. You're not supposed to be an artist, etc., etc. It's a very oppressive culture, I found, which is ironic because my old man, who pushed me away from doing stuff like that as a kid, and I would have benefited most from practice, had plenty of time to practice, was himself a poet who, like, made really good poetry in his spare time. But by that same token, there's a layer of hypocrisy to the way he thought about any artistic pursuit, including writing, where he genuinely didn't believe it was lucrative, therefore it could not be done. Okay. Die, please. Dude. Okay, what is that? And the thing is, I get that there's an element of, like, how to say it. There's an element of concern for, like, the well-being of one's children in that attitude and whatnot, you know? What the hell's going on with the water here? Is this normal? I feel like it's not normal. Weird. Okay. But like the hypocrisy of it is always looked at. Like, there was this point where I just sort of dropped out because I felt like, yeah, everybody's telling me I can't do anything, and clearly that must be true. And I was wrong. I always had sort of a talent for it, just didn't nurture it. And now I'm hamstrung with this very, very busted problem of I can draw up to a point, but man, oh man, I would have benefited from practicing. Gee, why didn't I practice? It's almost like I listened to a bunch of people who didn't know what the fuck they were talking about and paid for it in the long term. Boy, oh boy, that is exactly what happened. I'm stuck in this hell of, I have all these cool ideas I want to draw. I can't do it now because I spend so much time not practicing. I have a lot of time where I need to practice and haven't made any sort of real effort. And constantly feeling discouraged has not helped. But here's the thing, I'm making excuses for myself. Oh, I get it. That's why the water's doing this. Clever. Okay. See, the thing about any artistic pursuit is it's really just a matter of practice. It's a matter of getting consistently good at it. trying to do better bit by bit. I mean, shit. This applies to damn near everything, really. Talent. I feel like talent is just a word, but I know it's not, because there are some people who are genuinely just mentally better equipped to do certain things. Like, there are people with real talent that exist. I've seen a dude like draw an extremely complex picture, like without any guidelines or anything. He just drew from scratch within minutes. And this guy's like an actual prodigy. But he also spent a lot of time practicing in his youth as well. Most people who practice as much as he did probably will never be able to do the shit he does, because he literally draws a complete image just from scratch. Like no guidelines, no improvisation or anything. He has it in his head and he translates it to paper instantly. And this is like very, very atypical of what artists can normally do. Most people who draw, they have some degree of guideline, or they take their time with it. This dude's just like, yeah, I have it. It's here. Bam, bam. That's talent. You know. But talent is 30% of any creative process. A very hard, firm 30%. Come on. The remaining 70% is effort. Consistent, dedicated effort. And I keep telling myself that. Right? And I keep forgetting what I tell myself. I keep going, yeah, I can't do this, I suck. And then again, it's like a cruel, vicious cycle. I have to remember, I just need to make time to keep doing it. I need to make time to keep practicing. I need to just doodle shit to doodle shit. You know, I need to draw shit because I feel like it. I need to like look up stuff that I like and draw that. Just, you know, drawing from example. There are like a variety of ways I could improve organically. I just have to learn to turn my brain off and start doing it. And I'm not sure where this entire pointless monologue about art actually stemmed from. Pretty sure I was talking about the video game industry. And now here I am talking about, like, art for some reason. I'm just thinking out loud. I guess what I'm trying to get at is I really, really like making stuff. I really like creating stuff, and I really, really appreciate other creators who make really cool shit. And that's the main reason I like video games, is because it's like the height of all forms of creativity that I respect and admire the most. You know? Tears of the Kingdom... Tears of the Kingdom is really, really good art. Really, really decent storytelling, I want to say, because I can't say it's good, but it's good enough. You know, it's got the writing, it's got music, good music, really good presentation and direction. Overall, it's fun for what it is, but I view it less as a game and more as just a very, very massive, overwhelmingly good creation. Okay, where is it? Seriously? Okay, that's what I got. As soon as the controls decide to work, I will instantly kill these guys. Bada bing, bada boom. God, I love that. Something I kind of want to do, and I don't know if I can because I have absolutely no fucking idea how programming works. I want to make like a Final Fantasy style game, like literally an RPG Maker or Final Fantasy 1 style game. You know. Thing is, I don't know how to program for shit. I wouldn't know the first thing about it. I could probably learn, but I wouldn't. I guess I could try it. I think I have RPG Maker, I just never used the damn thing. And it's something I kind of really want to do, apart from making a comic, is just make a video game. And make a simple one, you know, like literally a Final Fantasy 1 or Final Fantasy 5 like. Something that is just clearly aping one of those games. The really old school ones. That'd be really dope. Because the thing is, like, the old school Final Fantasy games just don't exist anymore. Like, they're not being made. You got the Pixel remasters, which are all the old games put together, but, like, those aren't new old school Final Fantasy games. And I know a lot of people are making good RPG Maker games, so I'm going to try my hand at just making one and seeing, like, how well I can do it. The thing is, I'd have to make it fun, and I probably have a good intuitive idea of how to make one, but I doubt I'd probably never sell it. I wouldn't be that confident in it. Like, yeah, I made this really basic ass video game. Enjoy for free. Not good. I promise. Okay. Go away. Something I never really appreciated as a kid, but nowadays I feel like I overwhelmingly should have known as a kid, is just how the really good video games that came out way back in the day, like Devil May Cry 3, were anomalies. They were not normal. Like, I remember when I played DMC3, and I beat it, and I came away from that game thinking, wow, this is the greatest thing ever made. I can't wait to buy another one. I was so fucking naive back then. I was looking back on that and I was like, yeah, I can't wait to get another one of these. It's gonna be just as good, right? Right? I found no game that was like it. None. There just weren't any. There still aren't. You got Devil May Cry 5, 4 now, but name one other video game that does what Devil May Cry does. Just out of the blue, right? Just go ahead. Find one. There aren't any. I'm not even just saying that for a fact. Like, I think there's one guy making a 2D Devil May Cry style game that looks and feels nothing like one. Like, he has elements of it in there, but it's like, it's clearly its own thing that just sort of pays homage to it. And there are a few games that kind of do Devil May Cry stuff, like what was it? Dust and Elysian Tale. The main character that has a prop shredder, and I think there's like a score counter or something. But that's it. It's literally like a very, very surface level thing, you know? But, you know, back when I was a kid, I was playing that and I was like, wow, this game is amazing. Can't wait to buy another one. Like, stupid ass me really thought there were more like that. And the thing is, back then, really high quality games like that just didn't exist. You know, they weren't a thing. That required talent. That required people who knew what the fuck they were doing. And as Microsoft clearly established very recently, and since Microsoft ever existed, really, not a lot of video game companies and developers really know what the fuck they're doing. In fact, that's a consistent thing. They generally just don't know what they're doing. What is that? That's new. A lot of ruins there. Huh. Neat. Like, Capcom kind of has had for a long time a good head on its shoulders, but then it had that entire cursed period where it just started having bad ideas. You know? And I think the most egregious example of Capcom having absurdly bad ideas was Devil May Cry 2. Devil May Cry 2, I always say it was a mistake. That's true because holy shit, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing with that IP. To this day, I don't think they still know what they're doing with it. But back then, when 2 came out, they did not know what the fuck they had. And they thought anybody could just make it. You know? They signed a deal with Diesel. And then they put a team who had no idea what the fuck this game was on it. And they were like, okay, make this. And they're like, what is it? I don't fucking know, just make it. And, you know, for a few years, this did not do anything. It just, they didn't make anything because there was no way to make it. They didn't know how. And finally, like, they got really frustrated because the only thing that had been made was like a single stinger animation, right? So they're like, okay, we're gonna put Itsuno on this and have him make this in under a year. Because, you know, Capcom was smoking crack back in the day, clearly. They were on some kind of drugs. Really fucked up drugs that skewed their capability to process reality. I need to stress that Itsuno was a goddamn miracle worker at this point in time. And Devil May Cry 2 was his biggest miracle. And people say 3, but like 2 is a bad game, but 2's existence in itself is like a divine impossibility. Like, it shouldn't be real. It should not have happened at all, and it did. And it was a mostly cohesive video game. It was a bad video game, but the fact that in under a year it went from a single complete animation to a full, playable, somewhat fun game in a year, that's crazy. And the point I'm trying to get at is, like, a lot of video game companies just didn't understand what the fuck they were doing way back in the day. So, like, the lightning in a bottle that was Devil May Cry 3, like, that came about specifically because Itsuno wanted to essentially avenge himself and avenge the Devil May Cry brand. Because he was disappointed. Like, he thought he thought making this in under a year and making a complete game wasn't good enough. And like, he only had under a year. He's like, okay, I'm gonna make 3 and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be the coolest fucking thing ever. And it was. And, you know, growing up, I think I really didn't understand just how specific of a miracle that game even was. And nowadays I get it. Like, nowadays I feel like a fucking idiot because I was like, wow, sure, it's a good thing that, like, back when I was a kid, it was like, wow, sure is a good thing all video games are this good. And now it's like, wow, it sure is a good thing that any video games are good at all, ever. Because, like, the people who make that are, like, a specific level of quality that you just can't replicate. Like Itsuno and the combat programmers for the Devil May Cry games, they had to learn their craft, they had to master their craft, they had to make that shit work. They had to know what they were doing, have an objective, and reach it consistently. And they did. Pretty much every time after 2, they knocked it out of the park and had their games had good combat. The Monster Hunter franchise is cool because like it's become really popular to the point where it's created clones. Most of the clones are good, but if you want Monster Hunter likes, they're a dime a dozen these days. But you still can't replicate the exact vibe of Monster Hunter, the exact combat style of Monster Hunter, because the combat systems for those games were programmed by specific people. Probably never worked on those other games. And again, I'm yammering on, but my point is, like right now, in this day and age, in 2024, I want to say May, I think it's May, I don't know. Like, the video game industry is currently fucked. Right? Like, it's just, it's in a bad way. But at the same time, we have a bunch of knockout titles because the specific people who always made the really good shit came together collectively and made a bunch of good shit. Like, okay, Final Fantasy 16. I don't like it personally, but I'm not about to pretend that game is bad. It is good. It is a specific kind of good for a specific kind of person that is not me. I play that game and I don't enjoy it because it's not doing the specific thing I enjoy. But it's still pretty damn good. It's got good presentation, it's got really stellar music, its combat is good for what it is. It's not what I wanted, but it doesn't fucking matter. It's a quality game, right? And this was a collaboration between a lot of important developers. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a really fucking good game. And the reason it even exists in the state it does now is because it had like the same team of people who made Remake, which is the first part, and they just took what they had and improved upon it. Like a lot of the good knockout games we've had, the really, really top tier ones recently, were made by set groups of people who have a history of making the good shit. Because it's what they've done for most of their lives. It's what they're known for. It's their thing, you know? And I think a lot of people take that for granted, I want to say. Okay, hold on. Choo-choo, Jenny. Okay, good. Okay. Good enough. I think the people who like actually make the games, the developers, and as well as the directors in charge of the projects, those are the people we have to thank for the really high quality stuff. But the thing is, they can't have a job without like the leadership actually recognizing that they even exist. Like the thing with Capcom back in the day when Devil May Cry 2 was being made is they didn't parse the existence of Itsuno until they really needed him. And even then they didn't understand why their game wasn't being made. And nowadays it's like, oh yeah, of course, Itsuno's the guy. You know, we can trust him to make the good shit. But even now, I don't think I still don't think they get it. Because like Dragon's Dogma 2, as good as it is, feels undercooked. Really bad. Like, and it's bigger than Dragon's Dogma 1, but it still has the symptom of, oh, this was undercooked. And a lot of people are like noticing, hey, it almost feels like the executives at Capcom didn't believe this thing would be successful and tried to shit can it hard. Because you notice, like, in, like, I think it was either an E3 or TGS thing, Itsuno had to do his own reveal stream for Dragon's Dogma 2 separately from the main Capcom one, which is insane. And you look back on that and you realize, well, maybe that's because Capcom legitimately didn't think this game was going to succeed because they're stupid. Stupid ass motherfuckers. I think that's what it was, too, personally. I think they took one look at Dragon's Dogma 1 and were like, yeah, but this is just some weird fantasy game. We can't sell it. Nobody wants high fantasy, right? Like, because they're detached from reality and they don't get it. And it's a thing, like, a lot of people in charge of big gaming companies and big gaming developers, they don't get it. They don't understand what will or won't work. They've arbitrarily made up their minds. So the people who actually do the actual creation of these things either can't because their teams get shifted around, or they can't because the people who fund it go, well, this won't make money because I said so. And this is a tale as old as time. But now it's like, how best to put it? Oh, there it is. There. Now it's become a problem because, like, the bad decision making that the important people have been consistently doing for years has become financially unsustainable. You know, like, look at Microsoft. Like, they canned the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush, right? And Hi-Fi Rush is really fucking good, and they didn't understand that at all. They didn't know. I don't think they even processed the fact that the studio made anything. They just said, yeah, this didn't sell as well as we arbitrarily decided it has to go. And Hi-Fi Rush is good. I've played a few levels of that, and I'm just like, yeah, no, this game is going on my to-do list in the immediate future. This is one of those games, you know. This is that good shit I'm talking about, like the Devil May Cry 3 tiers of good shit. Like games of that level. That's where Hi-Fi Rush sits right now, just based on what I've played. Like, way back when, I feel like it was more forgivable to make those sorts of mistakes, right? Now it's not. Now, like, a lot of game companies are slowly starting to realize we can't keep fucking up. And the ones that don't end up paying for it. I'm going on a tangent again, and I apologize for that, but the point I'm trying to make is, the real point, the completely primary point, is that a lot of creative processes, a lot of things being made in modern media in any capacity in video games, we take for granted that those are like the product of a few very well-practiced, talented people. And thus, all that creativity is a deeply finite resource. Like, we've taken this for granted for ages, that creativity isn't something that grows on fucking trees. Like, a lot of people who make this shit are the specific people who went out of their way to learn how. They mastered a skill. They put in the hours, the practice. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay. What I'm doing. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the title of this, so I'm just looking at this and going, I wonder how I do this. Can I do this? Well-timed bounce. Okay. So you did. Okay, maybe I just. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do here. Oops. Oh. Anyway, I was busy going on a tangent about creativity being a finite resource, and I lost my focus again. Basically, I feel like as a culture we've kind of taken for granted just how specific the things that we've always had growing up are really just the result of really talented people, and these things wouldn't exist without them. We say that, but we don't really get what that means. It's easy to say, yeah, that's the case, you know? Maybe the solution is to just throw it on there. But like, like the guy who made The Simpsons, you know? The show had a very long runtime, countless years. Without the writers, The Simpsons wouldn't have been possible. And that was a very finite group of people. Nowadays, I don't think The Simpsons is very good, and that's probably directly attributed to the fact that it probably has very different writers. The quality of a medium, any medium, is based on the person creating. And I think what most of us haven't really connected is the fact that, like, that specifically... I'm not sure what to do here. Oh, wait. This is a really dumb idea. I should try it. Nope, nothing. this gonna go anywhere? I feel like it's not. Oh my god, was that actually the solution? Okay. I'm done. Like, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I said earlier, like, anybody can do art. You can practice enough. I think the point I'm trying to make here is that not enough people actually know what that means. Like enough people know, hey, if you practice, you can do art, but not enough people actually do it in enough numbers where they'll ever consistently produce high-end masterpieces, because so many people have been discouraged from doing it, I guess. We have kind of a culture of treating all these things, all art and stuff, like it's this elite magical thing, and everybody who does art is a wizard. It does like the wizardy shit, you know, like the. Another good way to describe this is like. Like, say for example, you could recontextualize the production and creation of like, what do you call it, computer chips and stuff. There was this guy who like completely recontextualized creation of that stuff as rune magic. You know, he just described it like one would describe rune magic in an RPG, because functionally speaking, that's kind of what it feels like. You know? And I'm sure I had a point there. I swear I had a point. And then I lost my thought. Shit. Okay, set a well-timed bounce. So, I'm bouncing. Okay, that didn't work. Ow. Ow. I guess the point I'm trying to make with the whole rune magic thing is like nobody really knows, except for the people who specifically make it, anybody who like wrote about the process of making it, how computer chips are actually made. Like, we have vague ideas, right? But we've created this sort of stigma around the actual process of knowing because it's too hard, too complicated. That sure is a mystical thing that rune magic, you know, that whole idea of like, we teach ourselves we can't, I think is what I'm trying to get at. We teach ourselves that it's not possible. We go, it can't be done. We're not important enough to know how to make the all-important thing. That's a problem. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Oops. But art is treated kind of the same way. And, well, writing is also treated the same way. Any creative process is treated by most people at a distance like, oh, that sure is weird, that specific thing that only special, super smart, important people can do. That galls me a lot, because it's created the situation where people who can make the really good shit are very, very rare. Like, because it's actively, aggressively discouraged to be the person who makes the thing that everybody knows. You know, people will still like enjoy these things, but they also have this whole mystical distance thing where it's like, no, we can't make super cool important thing. That's impossible. Only cool, special people can make it. I feel like that's done a lot of damage to creative industries in general. Oh, come the fuck on. I feel like that whole attitude has effectively destroyed creativity a lot. Well, not really destroyed it, because, you know, creativity is just a thing people naturally do. It's gonna fall off, isn't it? And it's because of that you have a lot of situations like, you know, where really high quality video games being made. By a select few people who have mastered the art of making them because, like, nobody else in the world knows how. Because there's been this whole, like, attitude that prevailed for years that, like, only specific types of people can make them. Only specific important people who know what they're doing can make them, instead of, like, just the people who put in the work and experience over the many years to just get good at creating these things. So people like Itsuno and, say, Neki Kamiya and Hideo Kojima stand out because they're the elite. They're the guys who make the thing. They're the super cool wizards, basically. And this leads to problems because, well, they're the only ones making anything worth a damn. They have vision. It's not that other people can't have a vision, it's that they're the only ones who stepped up, made theirs. Okay, seriously, how do I solve this? I keep thinking to myself, all I have to do is get the ball up there, right? Right? And clearly not. That can't be the case. Okay, let me go up here. What if? Okay, I have the shadow of an idea here. Okay. See, I tried doing the bouncy thing, that clearly isn't working. So what I'm going to do instead... Oh, I can't do that. Never mind. Oh, shit. Yeah, I feel like I've got nothing here. Oh, there that goes. Let's have to back up there. It probably is. Nope, it's It's not. That chest has fallen into the void. Okay, interesting. Well-timed bounce. Well-timed bounce. I'm drawing a blank here. Jumping clearly isn't the solution. There's this here, but this doesn't seem to do anything. I'm tempted to look this one up, because I don't know what the solution could be. Anyway, I basically just went on another tangent for no reason. I apologize. I'm gonna look this up. This is bugging me. Okay. Actually, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Trying to focus and hold it in is not a thing I can do. Okay, a well-timed bounce. Get ready to use recall. on the open square to the side of the ball. Oh, okay, this is one of those rare instances where I have to use recall. A thing I almost never use. What are the odds? I finally have a reason to use it. Oh, right. Never mind. I'm another smart man. Nope, nope, nope. Fucked up again. There we go. Aha! I am so smart. Definitely looked that up just now. Not smart at all. Totally figured that out all on my own. Yep, definitely. Anyway. Something I'm really frustrated about is, like, way back in the day, Yuji Naka of Capcom decided that RPGs were not profitable and that everything should be westernized. And then Breath of Fire as a franchise died. Now, I've played part of the first Breath of Fire game, because I never got exposed to it. I didn't know anything about Capcom's RPGs. So I was very mad when I realized that Yuji Naka, way back in the day, basically just did something absurdly stupid when he made this announcement. When he made this decision, essentially. Because Breath of Fire 1 is fucking great. I played a little bit of Breath of Fire 5, and while I don't think the game itself is particularly fun, it had a vision that was way ahead of its time. I haven't finished it yet. I've gotten through part of it. But even now, looking back on it, like, the game had a goal. Even if it was like the weird, fucked up alien to its own franchise, it was pretty damn good in its own way. It had a very oppressive atmosphere. It had decent gameplay, I want to say. It was just really, really, really weird and ahead of its time. Because it was a roguelike before roguelikes were a thing. And 5 was the last Breath of Fire game in the franchise. There would be no more Breath of Fires. Specifically because a detached from reality higher up decided for everybody else that this franchise just didn't make enough money to justify its existence. And, like, looking back on the Breath of Fire franchise, a series of Capcom RPGs, it's kind of insane that this franchise died arbitrarily like that. Like, I look at it and I think about it, I'm like, wow, no, this had the sauce. This was a good fucking series. And I think about, like, okay, Dragon's Dogma. It's an RPG. It's an action-oriented RPG. It's not turn-based like Breath of Fire, but it is still a JRPG at its core, right? And what is Capcom? What are Capcom's current higher-ups do? Because Yuji Naka's gone. You know, he's no longer there. What is their view on this? Well, they never said anything outright, but their treatment of the franchise, in spite of its massive popularity in Japan, is, yeah, this isn't a real thing. We're just humoring this crazy old man who makes us a lot of money. We don't actually want it. We're gonna try to suppress it at every turn. Like, their actions speak of this open disdain for the game. And I'm looking at all this and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, no, the same problem in Capcom still kind of exists, which is really stupid people at the top making bad decisions and trying to shut down very good ideas. And of course, I'm kind of repeating myself, but like, Dragon's Dogma 2 is not complete. I've played through it, I finished it, I thought it was fun, I thought it had the sauce, but it's the exact situation that Dragon's Dogma 1 was in, where like, it was very ambitious, but then it got cut short before it could finish. So it has the sauce and nothing else. And Dragon's Dogma 2 doesn't even have a good plot. That's dire. There's the root of a good plot there. And then it just sort of dies. And never comes back. And you're left wondering what the hell this game is trying to be, or trying to do. Like, there's actually a straight up element of continuity in Dragon's Dogma 2, because like Grand Soren is literally in the game as like an ancient, decayed undersea ruin that you can go to. I guess a video game, Dragon's Dogma 2 it's stellar. It knocks itself out of the park. It's still missing some things, but mostly its gameplay is like, yeah, it's good fucking video game. As a story, it's nothing. Played through its plot, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what any of this game is. Like, what was the plot? Who was the bad guy? Was there a bad guy? What was the big dragon at the end? Like, the more I look at it, the more like, man, this game had somebody with a hammer over it in the middle of the night. And they just bashed the brains in. They thought they killed it, and they realized they'd only just damaged it. Gave it permanent brain damage so its story could never exist. Okay. But, I'm sure I had a point somewhere. I think I had a point at some point. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? And again, that's like further proof that like the people at the top who want to make money are completely detached from the reality of making mediums of any kind. Like people in like, say, the manga industry, you know? There are people who publish it. They're the ones who make the decisions. They're the ones who like finance the stuff. They're not the ones who make the thing. But they still get to have a say on how much of the thing gets made before they have to ship it to make the money. And the problem is, creative processes famously do not work like that. Like, the reason video games take forever to make is because there is a lot of fucking effort that goes into making a video game. There's artistic effort. There is music. Like, individually, each one of these things can take forever, depending on the people making it. And you have all these really long-term processes that notoriously take forever to get anything done, all jammed together in basically this ultimate, or currently ultimate, form of media. And you have the exact same problem, which is the big creative people, the big finance people who want the product and don't give a shit about like the actual content of the product. They just want to ship it. They want to make money. It's cash money to them. And it's completely incompatible with the process of actually making shit like a video game. And it's been that way for ages, with every type of medium. The important big people who finance the stuff do not get involved with the process of making it. They don't understand how. And like in manga, this is especially tragic because like mangaka, people who like make the actual stuff notoriously die at an early age. Uh, this is also like a thing with animators, like Satoshi Kon. He died at 52. That's super fucking young. You know, and like Kentaro Miura, he died really, or I want to say like in his 50s. He made Berserk. Berserk it's the most influential shit out there right now. Not right now, but like it's the most influential shit ever made in history. Like there's a lot of stuff that can trace its like creative DNA back to Berserk. Like, if you've ever seen an anime where a dude has a gigantic fucking sword, like a big ass, super big, heavy looking, wide bladed sword that could just decapitate an entire horse, odds are that's from Berserk. Like, that's just a straight up, like, homage to Berserk. It was inspired by Berserk. Fucking Devil May Cry is inspired by Berserk. Final Fantasy VII is inspired by Berserk. Like, Kentaro Miura's work laid a genetic foundation for a lot of media. He was one of the big ones. You know, he's the guy who made a really, really important piece of art. And what did he get out of it? He died. He died at an early age because he worked himself to the bone to make this. And some of the best panels in all of manga history are from Berserk. Because he worked his ass off to make each one. He made them all. Made them really well. Ooh, what is this? A pit into hell? Oh, don't mind if I do. Tingle Island Chasm. I love it already. Animators and mangaka die at an early age because, like, the process of making the thing is incompatible with the process of publishing. So people who make it are rushed to finish it. And this can lead to some very, very extreme situations. I'm sure I had a point here. I did not. Okay, what was I? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the general gist is, like, it's kind of a tragedy that we created this situation. And this isn't exclusive to just any one set type of medium. This is like endemic to everything. This is everything. Like, if there's a popular thing like an anime, odds are that like the animators are being worked to the bone to make it. You know? Like Jujutsu Kaisen, the current season had this exact problem where like the animators were worked near to death just to make probably one of the greatest pieces of animation ever. And a lot of people have not connected the tragedy of them being overworked to the bone like that to the quality of the work. Because they're like, well, as long as we get this really high quality thing, it's like, yeah, I don't think that works actually. don't think I have a point here. I'm just pointing out the very real problem of, yeah, it's not sustainable. Yeah. And you, like, make stuff like this for money, have a publisher backing it and stuff. It genuinely feels like it's not sustainable. Like, because the people making it might actually just straight up die from being forced to rush it out. Or it gets rushed out in an incomplete state and isn't the ultimate vision they were after, that sort of thing. The quality of the work deteriorates, specifically because it's being rushed by important people who totally want you to make cash money for them. Which sucks. It's not cool. Again, this is all with the whole problem of creators in general are a finite resource because of the environment we've created for our culture where, like, creators are viewed as wizards. They're the magic people who make all the cool stuff. That's not literally, but, you know, it's the vague idea I'm trying to go for here is, like, we kind of put them on a pedestal without really understanding what they really are. And we don't put them on a good pedestal, we put them on the bad we can never do this ourselves pedestal, and thus we leave them isolated with their high quality work. We essentially give ourselves an excuse not to make the same degree of effort they make. We tell ourselves we can't do it, we're not important enough, we're not smart enough, and that is a load of bullshit. We are. It takes effort. It doesn't. I mean, it also kind of takes smart, but a lot of people underestimate themselves. We're talking in circles now. We should stop. We should instead kill these lizards. Get the Zonite. Stop overthinking things. Once again. I also really should just stop using streams to blurb my thoughts out like this. I feel like an idiot talking into the void. But, I don't know. Something about that is real, I guess. I have no idea where the fuck I am. Where am I? Oh, magic map, show me where I'm here. Okay. Where even is here? Is this just an isolated cave system? What the fuck? Oh, hey, it's connected. I can go back here. I think. Can I go back here? Okay, so if the maps are, like, directly inverse to the mountains, that means that... Okay, maybe not. I don't know. Oh no, there it is. Never mind. I'm so clever. Oh, come on. Really? You're gonna make me work for this? Game, please. Oh, you're really... Okay. Alright. Rusty Claymore. Is that a rock or a flint? That's a flint. Okay, that's not gonna be enough then. The real solution to this would be a frog's tooth, but I don't think I have one. Enoch's horn might work, though. There we go. Warhammer time. Now, frog's teeth are actually specifically designed for this sort of thing. So they do way, way better than this big crap animation I made. Real problem I have here is why is it making me do all this? Okay, I finally got through. Yay, I guess. So yeah, I keep forgetting that like the underground map is directly inverted. It's the direct inverse of the overworld map, so it's like an upside down version of Hyrule, essentially. Not even upside down; it's just inverse Hyrule. Oh, you motherfucker! You're gonna make me go through this again? Really? Is there no other solution here? Am I gonna have to just keep doing this forever? Oh, fuck you, game. There's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be a fucking better way. I don't want to keep carving my way through all those mountains. Shit, it sucks. It's dumb and I don't like it. Oh well. Time to eat that horse. Actually, now that I think on it, don't I have Lionel bows? I could just use those. I'm not even using that bow. I have triple shot. I just blow the fuck out of this whole thing. Oh, right. It's technically a bad idea, isn't it? Oh well, doesn't matter. It still worked! Anyway. Now, something I heard about that I think is really funny, because it's technically true, but it's one of those things that people actively discourage, is like, a lot of creativity is just straight up a ripoff of things that are already established and made that are really famous, popular. And then the ripoff gets really popular because it's just doing more of the thing that people like, and then it slowly becomes its own thing over the years, right? Why is that thing? And this is very specifically fighting games. Fighting games are like the main example of like ripoffs being super successful, because fighting games for a long time had an entire tug of war thing going on with like ripoffs. Like Dan Hibiki, my favorite character in fighting games, is a ripoff of Ryo, who is a ripoff of Ryu. And Dan's entire existence is a spiteful back and forth ripoff session between SNK and Street Fighter. I think not a lot of people realize or appreciate the fact that like a lot of fighting games couldn't even exist. Okay, is that what I think it is? Oh, fuck it is. Okay, hold on. I have a solution here. The solution is violence. The solution is not that. The solution is running away. The solution is bombs. The solution is running away. Oh no! my line of bolt broke. Why wouldn't it? Okay, I better get that Master Sword ready. Oh wow, that really deletes him. What the fuck? That really deletes him. Holy shit. I wasn't expecting the Master Sword to be that fucking effective. Like, my god. But anyway. That's okay. Well, yeah, talking about the horrifying nature of ripoffs being like the main drive for creativity. Like, a lot of fighting games kind of rip each other off. Like, okay, for example, Reptile. Reptile is a weird character in fighting games because in Mortal Kombat, his entire existence was originally a secret. And the thing is, the secret was heavily inspired by the hoax that is Shenlong in Street Fighter. Street Fighter's Shenlong is just a myth. He's one big work of fiction by a bunch of magazine publishers who were just playing a prank, essentially. The whole idea was, supposedly, if you beat Akuma in a certain way or something, I can't remember what, you could get Shenlong to fight you, and he was supposedly Ryu's master. This would later be referenced in Gouken, who literally has a line that is Shenlong's supposed line, but I am getting ahead of myself here. Basically, Shenlong, the super secret character, was an idea that did not exist. Because it was the first like real instance of like a secret character in a fighting game. But it wasn't a real thing at the time. I keep thinking to myself, is Akuma like this? And I'm like, no, Akuma's not. The thing is, like, Akuma, I think, showed up initially in Street Fighter 2, and not as a secret, but as like a reward for beating Bison within a certain time frame. If you like, I think, beat M. Bison either without getting hit or something like that, it'd summon Akuma, then you have to fight Akuma. I think. I can't remember for sure, but Shenlong was the first super secret character. Like, they had to go through a bunch of bullshit conditions to unlock. But he wasn't real. Well, okay. Mortal Kombat decides to do their own version of that. They basically have this absurd, and I do mean literally absurd, set of requirements to unlock Reptile as like an optional fight. Except it's real. Like, it's not a prank, it's an actual thing they did. And Reptile is like, he's kind of a jobber in Mortal Kombat, but the reason he's persisted for so long is historically he is the first ever truly super secret character in a fighting game. Like, not a lot of people realize that Reptile's kind of owes his entire existence to the myth of Shenlong, because like the method of unlocking Reptile is directly inspired by Shenlong. I wouldn't go so far as to say that's quite rip-off territory, but the idea exists specifically because Shenlong exists as an idea, I guess. Like, he saw that and they went, that's the coolest shit ever. We should do that. We should make that real. Because it's not, that sucks. And fighting games have like a very deeply interconnected history of doing stuff like that, where they take each other's ideas, you know? And it's been an accepted fact of fighting games for as long as fighting games have been a thing. Like, it's something not a lot of people immediately realize if they're new to fighting games. but a lot of fighting games share ideas. They rip each other off all the time. It used to be way more prevalent back in the day, but nowadays it's not as easy to get away with that sort of thing without risking a lawsuit. But there was like a wealth of creativity that spawned specifically because of that, because people were like freely mixing and matching ideas, taking from other things, and making their own takes. I can't even remember who came first. Was it Akuma or was it Shenlong? It had to have been Shenlong. Anyway, that kind of goes back to my point: is a lot of creativity doesn't come out of the ether, contrary to popular belief. Like a lot of creativity is just taking a cluster of ideas and then just making your own spin on it. Like, okay, it's like the dragon. The dragon, as a concept, is very clearly rooted in 3 different types of animal. You got the lizard, you got like maybe a dog, maybe a lion, and then of course a hawk. Also a snake. Why not? I had snakes in there too. The dragon is like a combination of all these things. And in myths, dragons are like the ultimate monster. They're the ultimate form of power, right? In myths, at least. Now, practically speaking, this position makes sense because dragons are based on all the things that humanity is inherently terrified of or thinks of, and with like deep respect and stuff like that. You don't think of like a creature like a dragon without thinking of the stuff that it was originally like created from. You know, but the idea of the dragon is very obviously a collection of different animals that we revered, respected, or feared over the years. And creativity is kind of rooted in that whole process of taking information, mixing it up, matching it up, mutating things we've sort of logged down into new original forms. Man, I'm going all over the place with this. I'm not even sure if I had a point now. Guess I didn't. Oh well. I guess the point is, a lot of people take for granted that creativity is just that. It's taking ideas and mixing them up. We've sort of forgotten that very real fact of creativity, and we've created this myth that it's just a thing that people magically do. You know? It's not a process of mentally cataloging things and then mixing them together. It literally is treated like magic. It's treated like a thing that people just have the power to do, and we don't. Because we don't have the power. I'm going everywhere but where I wanted to go with that. I give up. This is stupid. I should go for it. I fought a Phantom Ganon, I'm happy. I got his weapons. It's cool ass weapons. But that kind of, I guess, goes back to the problem I have with people in general, myself kind of included, because I've made this mistake too, where creativity is treated like wizardry. You know, when you make a thing, it's like magic. You totally magic that up, I guess. Oh, thank you, Magical Ghost Thing, for the throwing spear. I shall never use that ever again. Like, there's a distance. That we put between ourselves and making the effort to create things. We've either never learned, to make things, we've never learned the process of actually making things. We've never learned that the effort involved is a thing we can totally do. And we taught ourselves that it's bad for some reason to do it ourselves, and that only the important creative people could do it. And to me, that's kind of a form of cultural damage. It's a rash of ideas that are bad. You know, we've established this notion that creativity is an elite skill that only people born with it can do. And that's the most dumbass thing ever. We really need to have the balls to cultivate our own degree of creativity. We need to have the balls to tell ourselves we can do that, we should do that. But not enough people want to do that. Not enough people have the stomach for it, or the courage, or the audacity. I think audacity is what you really need for this sort of thing. You need to have the audacity to go, I can just fucking do it. Fuck logic, who cares about this shit? Just do it. Make the thing. Who's gonna care, right? Because who's gonna care? To make something bad, nobody's gonna notice, because nobody's gonna give a shit unless you really, really sold yourself as super cool and super creative. I give you, like, straight up fooled a bunch of people into thinking you were better than you actually were because you fooled yourself. Yeah, of course you're gonna eat shit for that. Like, why wouldn't you? That's why I'm going somewhere with this. I hope I'm going somewhere with it. I don't know. Yeah, that's a lot of rocks. I wonder if there's even a way for me to get back up. It feels like there isn't, so I'm just looking at all this and going, man. Did I screw myself here? Nah, clearly I didn't. Okay, so I don't think there was one there. Nah, that clearly isn't. I'll grab those. Oh, hello. Something for later, I guess. Basically, light roots and shrines correspond with each other, which is why I'm marking these, because I'm eventually going to go to them. Later, though. Later, not right now. I guess really I'm just frustrated. People have like created this myth of creativity being an elite skill. Don't get me wrong, like I said before, talent does exist. It is a real thing, but it is not the entirety of the creative process. Like if you can draw a stick figure, you can do everything else. You just need to learn the everything else part and how that works. And if you're unwilling to learn, then of course you're never going to create anything because you're stupid ass motherfucker. You know? That's kind of it. Like, really, at the end of the day, is like it's all about how much you're willing or unwilling to do. If you want to be creative, or you want to like make things, but you don't want to make the effort, then you don't really want to make things. You just want it to magic itself into existence. Which is why the curse of AI art exists. God, I hate the idea of AI art. So the problem I have with AI art is not that it's like not creative, because functionally the way I described the creative process is how I described how like one would describe how AI art works. takes a bunch of images, right? And then it just sort of then it mixes them together and then blends them together into something unique based on a bunch of instructions. The foundational and fundamental problem with this, however, is that AI steals from an oceanic amount of sources in order to do this. And it doesn't use a few images, it uses a massive amount, it uses hundreds. And then it like cobbles them together. So you gotta ask yourself, practically speaking, what's the real difference between like looking at an image and then like mentally cataloging it and then mixing it with another image that you saw? Well, the difference is that AI art strictly steals the actual image. When you look at an image and you memorize it and then you draw it yourself, you're not stealing it, you're using your own image, so to speak, your own version of that image. AI art steals the actual image itself. Like it doesn't like make its own version. It just takes one and mixes it with another. That's it. Now, apart from the very, very real ethical problem of this basically completely negates human effort, which is another major part of art, the matter of theft is really the most prominent one. And, like, when I first saw this, I thought it was mute. Like, I thought it was really interesting how, like, you could sort of put a very fucked up looking Virgil in a Dragon's Dogma level in an image. Right? Because that's what I did with that first, because I thought, I didn't understand at the time what this was. I was just like, oh wow, this is really weird and neat. I wonder how they'll fuck this up. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Because money got involved. NFTs got involved. A lot of stuff that shouldn't have gotten involved got involved. Where the hell am I? Oh boy, I'm probably not going to be able to make it down here. I don't even know what I'm doing now. Back to my point, I guess, assuming I had one. AI art in general just became like this shortcut to making content. And then like a bunch of poor people in, say, video game companies like Square Enix saw this and they're like, oh, we can use this to make shortcuts for our stuff. And to their credit, some of the people at Square Enix did find actual valid, morally correct ways to use this technology. Like in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they specifically use it to copy the lip sync motions of characters. And then, like, essentially make other variants in their animation process. So they strictly use stuff that is from their content, from their creation. They're not stealing anything. Because they're not, like, using the AI algorithm thing to, like, take images off the internet from other artists. They're exclusively using their own models. And effectively creating an animation shortcut using it, which is actually good. That's cool. It's not quite the same as like outright removing effort or trying to, say, replace jobs. Some companies, though, have actually tried to use AI to replace artists. They've tried to use it to replace writers because they don't want to finance those pesky, unreliable writers and artists. They don't want to keep using people for creative processes. They want a money machine, basically. They want a thing that makes them content that then makes them money. They want to cut the people out entirely because they realize they constantly have to work around people and understand them. And people in big business are psychopaths. They don't want to understand people. They just want to get the thing that they want. You know? And that's not good at all. Okay. Excuse you. Really? Ah, the hell with it. I'll just go back up. I'm mostly saying stuff that's been said a bajillion times before. So I don't even know why I'm saying it other than to have something to say while I play a video game and get my thoughts out. Like, I think Square Enix's use of, like, the whole shortcut to make better lip flaps thing, that's cool. I think that's a good idea, and they legitimately should continue doing stuff like that with their AI programs, because it's essentially removing a lot of unnecessary effort from producing their game, so it can be made a little bit faster, but also, like, the quality isn't reduced at all, you know? There's a difference between not making effort at all and paring down the effort that has become, like, wasteful, essentially. By that same token, like, there are artists who have tried to just functionally use their own art to essentially make AI art, and they run into the very real roadblock of, I cannot direct this because they don't have enough images for the algorithm to learn from. I cannot, like, make this do specific things because I did not draw of them making specific things. So AI as a technology kind of doesn't work most of the time, and only works in specific cases. And for the most part, I feel like it's still a net negative. At least I personally feel that way. I don't know if it's actually true, but like, AI art has become so wildly unpopular that it's just not worth doing anymore. Even association is now like super crazy bad. You shouldn't do it, etc. etc. But you know, that's fine. I view that as a win for the planet. It is a necessary sacrifice that we are willing to make today. It's 11:50 already? Shit, I need to go to bed at some point. Probably soon. Nah, who am I kidding? I don't care. Okay, let me eat some batteries real quick. If only I had some glowing mushrooms, that would recharge my batteries. I still think that conversation in Metal Gear Solid 3 is the funniest shit ever. It recharged my batteries. What the fuck is he talking about? I don't know, but if he thinks it's helping, go with it. But he might be dying. I don't care. Alright, there we go. I should state for the record that I'm a giant dipshit who doesn't know jack shit about anything he's talking about right now. In the event that I'm wrong about something, I totally don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'll put. Interesting. Whee! I don't know what's in the orb. Anything important in the orb? Nope, nothing here. I think I need to activate the orb. Let me check. Activate! Stupid orb. Why won't you activate? Why isn't this working? Must more blood be shed? Years old. Don't worry about it. Devil May Cry 3 is awesome. You should definitely play the fuck out of it. Oh cool, I can get the light that banishes evil. Where is it? Where's the light that banishes evil? Give me light banishing evil thing. Oh, I just had to bring it down there, shit. That's easy enough. I'll just gently drop it. Right? Gently drop it. And hopefully it won't shatter upon impact. Yeah. Wow, that was... sure was hard. Oh my god, that was a super challenging puzzle. Wow, I can't believe how difficult this challenge was. Super tough. Definitely, You know, actually, I have nothing important to say about this. I really did just bring a crystal to a pedestal that was like maybe half a mile away. If that. Like, that's walking distance. Okay. You know what I should do? I should just play one round of Devil May Cry 5. Or, not Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. Specifically the Switch version, because that's literally the best version of the game, ironically. Ah yes, another Raru's Blessing. For all that effort I did, just barely managing to make the, get the puzzle done. Yeah. You know what, I talked up Devil May Cry 3. I think I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna save this after I get this. I'm just gonna play Devil May Cry 3 for like 2 levels. Because, man, that is a good-ass fucking game. I should play it again. It's kind of tragic that we get a bunch of Resident Evil remakes, but we can't get a Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3 remake. Can you imagine Devil May Cry 2 but good? That would be insane. They could get away with anything, too. They could literally just completely reimagine the story, because Devil May Cry 2 never happened. It could be about something completely fucking different from Devil May Cry 2 itself. It could be like a Shin Megami Tensei 3 crossover from Dante's point of view. Like, the sky is the actual limit. Of course, you know, Devil May Cry 2 was bad, so it doesn't really matter. They'll never remake that, let's be real here. Like, it's really fucked up that I have to say this, but it really does feel like Capcom does not believe in anything Itsuno does, even though Itsuno is, like, the guy who has saved Capcom's ass several times. Like, every time they make a mistake, they call on him to fix it, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'll just make all these really, really legendary games. And like, cool, we made money, thank you. We will never connect this to you ever again. We'll just coincidentally come to you whenever we're in trouble. Like, I know that's probably not the exact case, but boy howdy is that what it fucking feels like. Alright, enough of this. Enough of this crap. I'm enjoying the game, but I will change of pace for the next 2 minutes, I want to say. Yes, 2 minutes. I played a little bit of DMC1, but DMC1 really is an acquired taste. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but like, that game kind of turns me off of playing it now. Okay, low game. Turbo mode. Normal. I play as Virgil, but Virgil in this game's kind of simple to the point of absurdity. He's still fun and broken as fuck, but it's like he's really rough to play as.
You've heard of it, haven't you?
Let's skip that.
Is that it? Is that it?
Probably looks cool. What again? B rank, really? Boo. I'm gonna cutscene for this play out. These first 2 levels are my favorite. They're just combat rooms. One with like a mediocre boss fight.
Damn it! You guys totally wrecked my shop, and I haven't even named it yet. You're gonna pay for that.
Okay, I love how overwhelmingly unnecessary this scene is. He just stylily puts his coat on, sneezes once, his shop explodes. It's fucking hilarious. He didn't need to go that hard for putting his coat on, but here it is.
I hope you all have enough to cover all this. Let's rock! Let's rock! Come on, man.
Oh wait, take that. Oh, I didn't max out church. Oops.
Come and get me.
Wrong button. Oops. Wrong everything. Come on.
Chew on this. Free. Chew on this. Chew on this.
Not my best work. That was pretty bad. Ugh, deserved. I'm gonna redo that one. I want to at least get a B rank. Come on. Gonna never done spiral this shit. Weirdly enough, this is like my favorite combo in the entire game.
Come on.
least get good time on this one? Probably not. It's a B rank, I'll take it. I think it's SS ranked that before, but I'm not following this trap. Trying to SS rank all of Devil May Cry 3 is a pain in the ass. It's not really worth the trouble. I think I'm just gonna stop here. It's 12 o'clock, I need to go to bed. Among other things, this was a fun stream. I mostly just yapped and played Breath of the Wild poorly. Tears of the Kingdom, sorry.